Hi everyone and welcome to Nerdy Up North podcast. Couldn't talk there. The Nerdy podcast hosted by two Northern nerds. I'm Sam.
And I'm Paul. Thank you for tuning in again, like I say, after our first effort last week.
Second,
yeah.
How you doing, Paul?
Not bad, yourself?
All right. Not too bad for a Tuesday.
Yes.
Thanks to Marvel, had a really good Monday.
Yeah.
And thanks to you as well.
It was a busy day. Lot of announcements, a lot of things that came out. So it was quite interesting.
Before we get into the news, got to ask you one important question, Paul.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
I tell you what, I have been watching it. I don't think it's a new show, but it's one that I've just fallen on. It's just been on Disney Star. That's Solar Opposites. Don't know if you've watched it. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's very Rick and Morty. It might even be made by the same people who made Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. Same type of humour, like very childish, sweary jokes. It's about a family of aliens that's crashed on Earth and just not pretending like to try and blend in. But
why do I feel like I know this? I feel like Anth might be watching this. I'm definitely not watching, but I think Anth is.
Out there is 2 seasons of it. I think it came out in America before, but it's like it's been out over here. But the best part of it is that it's like a side story. It's got like one of the kids, when people annoy him, he uses a shrink ray to shrink them down. But he's got over like an ant farm in his bedroom, and he puts the people in. And there's a side story of the people in the wall, and it's basically going from the top to the bottom, and it's like very dystopia, very Mad Max. But the wall is probably the best part in it, and like I say, I would highly recommend it. But it's called Solar Opposites. It's starting on Star on Disney Plus, but if you know Ways and Means, you can get 2 seasons out of it online.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
Invincible.
Obviously, yeah, I've been watching that.
Yes, it's very much like the cartoon version of The Boys.
I feel like that's an episode in itself.
Yes.
That we could literally, once that's finished, because I have a lot to say on it. I am thoroughly enjoying it, but I want to soak it in before I start divulging into it. But I'm really, really loving it.
It's very much got the feeling of the old Spider-Man cartoons, if that makes sense. Like the look and the feel, but with more adult content type thing. Definitely
more adult than the cast of Walking Dead.
Yes.
I love that. Anything else?
Just catching up on Bob's Burgers and stuff like that, really.
Oh my God. I love Bob's Burgers, and I've watched all 10 seasons at least twice since like last year's lockdown. I love it. It was not as much as I watched The Office, because I watch that religiously.
The American one?
Yeah.
I can't get through it.
Oh man, I am obsessed. Yeah. The minute I finish it, I'm like, I miss them so much, and I go back and start again. It's the same with me and Anth with Always Sunny.
Yeah.
We've literally last night finished the last episode for the second time, and when we put it on when we've got nothing else to watch, we're like, right, go back to Always Sunny. So we'll go back to the beginning tonight, no doubt. But I've been watching, and it's not nerdy in a way, but I started Line of Duty.
Nick's absolutely obsessed with that. I've not watched it yet because I think I missed the first 2 seasons.
It's all on iPlayer.
Yeah.
I watched the first season on Saturday. Could not turn it off. Thank God I was like stuck in the house. Yeah. And I finished the second season this morning. I'm literally getting up early on a morning because you left on a cliffhanger. So I get up the next morning to watch the next one, and I'm left on a cliffhanger again. And it was it's fun, absolutely fantastic. So I'm starting season 3 tonight.
I know everyone's doing the Sunday night posts, like it's Line of Duty. I think that's turned into Line of Duty night now. It's taken over the One Division Friday night.
Oh, and Walking Dead as well, because it used to be a Walking Dead or Game of Thrones thing. You always used to see it on, but yeah, absolutely loving it. But apart from that, that is literally all I'm watching is Line of Duty. Well, it's not all I'm watching. I watch The Office. Always Sunny. Parks and Rec.
We did watch a film last night, though. sidetracking from TV shows, Nobody.
Oh my God, is that the Bob Odenkirk one?
Yep, it's pretty much. I don't know if it's going to be set in the John Wick world, but it is just John Wick.
Oh wow, me and Anth watched the John Wicks last year because we watched the first one when it first came out, and then last year we watched them, the second and third one.
Yeah,
there's no bullshit in them films.
No, this one's got a bit more of a sense of humour.
With Bob Odenkirk, cannot expect anything else.
True, but the soundtrack is absolutely top notch. That was the one thing me and Nick were looking at each other going. I had Pat Benatar and stuff kicking in, and was like, this is just absolutely brilliant. But there's a cameo, well, not a cameo, he's got a bit of a part in it, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown from Back to the Future days, and he is absolutely unbelievable in it. You don't see it coming, and when he does, honestly, it makes the film.
Oh, I'm gonna have to tell Anth about it because we really enjoyed the John Wick films. Love Bob Odenkirk. He was originally, well, he wasn't. He auditioned for Michael Scott in The Office, and they actually used him in another episode later on as an alternative Michael Scott. Like he was Michael Scott just in another office, and he was in it for less than 20 minutes, and he was brilliant. He's so funny. I'll have to tell Anth about it. I did see your post. The minute you posted it, then I saw everyone else posting about it.
Yeah. It's
I have to watch
strange. It's very, like, say, it starts off a little bit like John Wick as well. Someone breaks into his house, but
they don't kill a dog.
No animals are hurt in the film. I can say that, but without spoiling anything more, it kind of leads in from there, and it takes you on a journey that you know what's going to happen. There's no surprises in it. It's basically, it doesn't try to be too clever as well. It's just goes from A to B, but done in an entertaining way.
Awesome. Oh, I'm going to tell Anth about it. It'll put off him wanting to watch Jiu-Jitsu. There's no way I'm watching that. No way I'm watching that. I love Nicolas Cage, but I'm sorry, I'm not all about that life.
Has he made a decent film? And I don't know when his last decent film, like one I actually enjoyed was Gone in 60 Seconds.
Did you not like Mandy?
No, I've not really got into it.
And you like horror films. That one was messed up. He's just Nick Cage. I think he's getting to the point now where he realizes he's just a complete not a parody, so he just goes with it.
Just does everything.
He gets paid. Exactly, he gets paid. So I think we've got a few news items. So we're going to get into the news.
Yep, I'll let you start with yours.
Well, mine that is not on your list is the Michael Keaton news.
Yes.
Now, I haven't read too much about it, but I'm guessing it's to do with the fact that Michael Keaton is returning as Batman.
Yep, he's coming
in a Batman film.
No.
Okay, so this is where I lost stop on when I read the article.
In the Flash film. They're doing Flashpoint.
Oh my God, are they doing Flashpoint Paradox?
They're doing the Flashpoint, so there's going to be two Batmans in it.
What?
Ben Affleck's coming back. He's playing Batman.
Right.
And Keaton's going to be another Batman, so they're going to do the multiverse in it as well.
Wow, so they're not just doing Flashpoint, they're going to bring the multiverse into it. Is Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing?
He's not been announced or anything. The only thing that's been announced, because I know it was about 6 months ago that said there were talks to bring Michael Keaton in, but then Michael Keaton said due to the pandemic, he didn't feel comfortable going out and filming. So he kind of put cold water in it, but it was announced yesterday that he is going to be, he's been signed on and he's playing Batman. So the Flash is going to have two Batman. The only thing I'm not too sure about it as well, because I know they said that Cyborg wasn't going to be in it again due to the controversy around his character with the actor who played him. But they've said that there's no version of the film where there's not a cyborg in it. So
there's not. He's a massive part. If you've seen the animated Flashpoint Paradox, which DC animated films are by none amazing. They blow my and this is coming from me, the self-proclaimed Marvel fangirl. They blow their animated films out of the water. Me and Ant absolutely love them. And Flashpoint, I think I've seen 100 times. And there is you couldn't not have Cyborg in that film.
I've always loved the Flash as a character, and I don't think he's ever had decent, well, other than Zoom and Reverse Flash, there's not really been many decent Flash villains that I've got on board with. Not because like Batman has the best villains. I don't care who anyone says.
I agree.
His rogue gallery of villains just can't be touched. But the whole Flashpoint story was quite interesting to me, and I used to love it. I actually owned the original comics as well, so it was quite cool to have. But no, I'm looking forward to that one. I know there's a lot of people thinking no, but I think Ezra Miller done the Flash justice in the Justice League. That he was one of the, like, even in both cuts, he was like the standout performer.
Oh, definitely. Well, I think Ezra Miller has that effect on any part he takes. Even like when he was in God, the first thing I ever saw him in was We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Kevin, yes, that was a hard one to watch.
Wasn't it? And then you had him in the Fantastic Beasts franchise as well, and he takes every part, and he is fantastic in it. But at the time when Justice League came out, me and Ant were heavily into. I always say me and Ant because it's like me and Ant watch everything together. But we were heavily into the Flash and the Arrow. We've completely dropped off it now. Like it just got the point where it's getting too complicated even for us, and we understood what kind of was going on. So we lost off, but at the time we were heavily into it, and Grant Gustin, he was our Flash.
Yes.
And so Ezra Miller, we were not interested in until we watched the Zack Snyder. And we thought he was fantastic. He really did steal this thing. He stole every scene he was in without managing to chew the scenery.
He made it comical, but like as the Flash is, he's a light-hearted character. I always said it when they were talking about making Flash films or putting the Flash in films. I always wanted Ryan Reynolds as the Flash. I thought that would have been the perfect casting. But instead, he got the Green Lantern.
Ryan Reynolds before Green Lantern. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I get that. What was that film he was called? The college one he was in. It was a National Lampoon's. That's it.
Van Wilder.
Yeah, that's it.
That was a big break for him because he was in Two Girls. Was it not?
Two Girls in a Two Guys in
a Girl in the Pizza Shop or something.
Or something like that. Yeah, Anne used to watch it. I think we just used to watch it as well. I probably watched it too.
Funny enough, Nathan Fillion was actually in it as well.
Yeah, he was the boyfriend. He was Johnny.
Yeah.
That's all we ever knew him as was Johnny.
Who I always said should have been cast as the Green Lantern, but still.
He's been the voice of the Green Lantern in quite a few of the animated films. If he does not get a decent role within either Marvel or DC, I will be livid.
Well, he's
really good friends. Well, because he's really good friends with James Gunn.
Yeah, he's playing Noir Man or something like that.
Yeah, he's actually in Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
He plays like a big giant thing.
Isn't that Rob Zombie?
No, the one where because the one where the Groot puts these. That was Nathan Fillion.
That was Nathan. Oh, I just want to see. He's so good. I just want to see him do more.
Yes.
So we'll move away from the Batman. And what was the next on the agenda?
We'll move to another man, Spider-Man. So there was some news broke last week. I know there's been lots of rumours going about so many different things that's going to be in the new Spider-Man film. I've heard Charlie Cox is going to be playing Daredevil, returning as Peter's lawyer. You've Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's meant to be returning as well. But one thing that did come out, and it looks like it has been confirmed by the actor himself, that Alfred Molina is going to be coming back to reprise the role of Doc Ock, because he'd done an interview with Variety where he was talking about the role and said he was apprehensive coming back because it was about 17 years ago since he played the role, and he's an old man now and he doesn't think he can do it like as physically. But what he said is, funny enough, that the director John Watts has said they're going to be using the technology that they used in the previous Avengers films to de-age, like say Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel and Tony Stark.
Marvel are getting their money's worth on that tech mind, aren't they?
Yes. So it looks like we are going to be getting the multiverse again, just in a different form.
So, riddle me this, because I've just thought of this in my head. that has to be some form of multiverse. If these rumors are true about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back as within the Spider-Man universe, and obviously with the success of Into the Spider-Verse a couple of years ago, introducing it into live action would be a good idea, because people are kind of we understand what the multiverse means now. What does that mean for Doctor Strange? Because Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange and the multiverse of
madness.
Madness, that's it. So what does that mean? Are all these going to link?
I think so, because there's rumors that Spider-Man's going to be part of Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is going to be part of Spider-Man. Now, again, just rumors that's going about that Jamie Foxx is supposed to be reprising the role of Electro. That hasn't been confirmed. Also, as well, Green Goblin. I can't remember his name now.
Oh my gosh, William Dafoe.
William Dafoe is going to be returning as well, but he's...
As long as Franco is not coming back, I don't care.
Oh dear, Franco.
You just want to punch Franco in the face when you see that film.
Yes. But yeah, it seems a lot that's going to be going on. I was hoping for the whole storyline with Kraven the Hunter, but it doesn't look like it. But again, making sense of everything that's been happening, it does kind of make sense with the whole Morpheus trailer when they had the Spider-Man poster in the background. When it wasn't the Tom Holland Spider-Man poster, it was the Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man outfit that was on the wall. And even though, again, Michael Keaton appeared at the end of that trailer to say that like the Vulture was part of that world as well. But if it's a multiverse, that then makes sense if they're all crossing over.
It just seems like Marvel are like branching out in such a way that's gonna, I think gonna, and this is just me, think gonna help bring the X-Men into it. I'm trying in my head to figure out how the X-Men fit into this. Now, we all thought it was going to happen with WandaVision. It didn't. We thought it was going to be the whole reverse of House of M. That obviously didn't happen. And this is just my way of thinking, that with the two films going to coincide with multiverses, is this how we get the X-Men into the MCU? Because I just personally can't see how you can smack bang the mutants into the world that we already know.
Well, they always said that mutants were born. That was the whole definition between them. So I can't see that many mutants have been hidden in the world of superheroes that's coming about for so many years. I think it's an impossibility now with how the Marvel, if it was 5 years into the Marvel universe, yes, but not at the stage now where we've had the whole massive battle with, like I say, Thanos and human stuff, because the mutants would have been apart. But
they would have it, because that's one of the things between War Machine, Cody Rhodes. Bloody hell, I can't remember his name there. With Rhodey and Captain Marvel, he was like, we're all about the superhero life, but where have you been? Yeah. Because there needed to be explanation as to why you haven't been here, and she gave a good one. But it's the same with with the X-Men. It's like, how do you explain Charles Xavier in the MCU right now?
Yeah,
where's he been?
Unless he's been cloaking them, like say using his powers to hide them away, or if there's not as many as basically as like a small number rather than like a large number. What
I should remind myself is that my daily mantra: in Marvel, I trust. So
yes,
I trust that Kevin Feige has a plan to bring us the X-Men in the best way possible.
But then you think about it as well, because they are moving towards the fantastical, like I say, with Blade coming into it now, so vampires, like Moon Knight, say that's going to get its own show. So
I love Moon Knight. Mark Spector is so special to us. I remember reading the run. It was only a few years ago, and I was just crying after like every issue, because I was like, I can't believe I've just finished that. It was fantastic.
I'm happier with the casting than what was rumored. When they were saying that Daniel Radcliffe was meant to be playing him, I wasn't too enthused.
I'm not overly excited about Oscar Isaac. I'm not.
Have you seen his training regime he put online?
No, I don't.
Brutal.
I don't know how to feel about it yet because he's not how I pictured him. He seems a bit too small.
True.
I always expected Mark to be a little bit more taller, but hey ho, I'll probably be eating my words when it comes out.
If Tom Hardy can play Bane, and Tom Hardy's only five what?
This is not the time to bring Tom Hardy into a conversation when it comes to me. I get heated, I get hate. I got a lot of hate a few years ago for something I put on the internet and said on a YouTube video about Tom Hardy. So it's not a good idea to bring Tom Hardy around me.
We'll leave
we'll leave Tom Hardy for another day, unless you bring Mad Max into the question, and then that's it. I'll go off on one. No. Anyways, next on the agenda.
The other thing I've picked up on this week was the Mega City 1 update. That they're looking to bring Dredd into the TV land, and Carl Urban's in talks to reprise the role. Now, it hasn't been picked up by a network yet, but I would love to see that on, say, something like HBO or Netflix, where they've got a decent budget and maybe not focus too much on Dredd, just maybe on the actual Mega City.
Let's get brutal with Dredd. Yeah. I really enjoyed the Carl Urban's version of Dredd, and to be honest, for all I've heard, he's a bit of a dick at conventions. I really love Carl Urban, especially The Boys.
I know
Can't wait to season 3.
Really like him at the moment, so.
Who?
His ex Katie Sackhoff, who played.
Are they not friends?
No, they used to go out, but I think she's done a few podcasts where she's slagged them off for quite a bit.
Oh, apparently he's an absolute dick when he goes to conventions. He's not the overly friendliest of person to go and do a meet and greet with. Do you know what though? I've never done conventions like that where you go and go up to tables and do like meet and greets. And I did one a couple of years ago. Went to For the Love of Horror down in Manchester.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic convention. If anyone has a chance to go to them, For the Love of Horror, For the Love of Sci-Fi, they really, it's so well organized. Brilliant venue, massively spaced out, and the guy from. If Carolyn's listening, they should be laughing her back up. It's the guy from the Lost Boys, Tim Capello, the saxophone guy.
Oh, God.
The nicest person I have ever met. Me and Carolyn, me, Carolyn, and our brother went down, and it was the Lost Boys, all of them, including Kiefer. Carolyn got to meet Kiefer Sutherland and give him some of our original artwork. Wow. But it was, we went, our brother was getting all the signatures, but we were standing with him, so I got a chance to meet Alex Winter, all of the Lost Boys, apart from Corey Haim, obviously, and Corey Feldman. But he was such a gentleman. He gave me and Carolyn time, even though we weren't paying for anything. Right. He was just such a lovely, lovely guy. Oh,
to be fair, he's probably dined out on that one song for how long?
Well, I saw him perform it live as well, and that was great. But I didn't know he was actually a saxophone player for Tina Turner for quite a few years. Oh. So he has had his own music career, but yeah, you're probably right. He has dined out on the Lost Boys for the last few years. But who cares? If you ever get a chance to go and see him at a convention, do it. He's fantastic.
I remember the last time I went to a big convention, was down in Manchester. I've forgotten what it was, but this shows you how long it was. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were promoting Hot Fuzz.
Oh wow, that was a long time ago.
So they'd done a panel, and I sat in on it, and they were absolutely hilarious. They didn't actually talk about the film once. I think they spent half an hour talking about who would win in a fight, ninjas and pirates.
Pirates. Well, my brain went somewhere else there.
Yeah, I've got good adventures in conventions, but I've not been to a proper one. Like the one in Newcastle always seemed to be a bit of a letdown, to be honest.
Never been to the big one in Newcastle. I do a lot of local ones because I tag along with Carolyn when she's selling her artwork. Do you know what? For all it's just a small convention, only I would say people who are local would know about it. Obviously, I can't imagine a lot of people would come out of the way for it. But if you ever get a chance to go to Gateshead Comic-Con, do it, because that is one fantastic day out. Me and Carolyn have worked it a couple of times and just had an absolute blast. It is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But we also did Star Wars Europe Star Wars Celebration Europe in 2016. That was an experience. We went down to London and went on the Saturday. Oh God, the Rogue One was on the Friday, so that was, we missed that. And we didn't go on the Friday, we went for the Saturday, but the Rogue One panel was on the Friday. On the Saturday, it was Mark Hamill signing.
Right. And that would have been expensive, I bet you.
Oh my God, yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. But so when we went there, there was his booth here, and he's taken all of his photographs like on one side, and on the other side was the official merchandise bit, and you had to get passes to go into it, so you had to get like a time to go back, otherwise the queue was massive. So we did, and as we were coming out, we turned our backs to walk backwards, and we could see Mark Hamill just to the side. So we classed that as us meeting Mark Hamill. We did it twice.
It came from out the corner of your eye, bless you.
Yeah, and do you know what the kick in the teeth was? We were so tired. It was such a long day, on your feet all day. And we were like, right, we're going back to the hotel, time to go and chill out. And not long after we left, Mark Hamill did an impromptu Q&A in the middle of the floor. Gutted. Gutted is the word. It was fantastic.
One of the lads on the page is he's called Michael, and he's been to the San Diego. Went a few years ago, but he always teases as well. But he's a massive Dredd fan as well. He's the one who posted all the artwork for Dredd on the page and stuff. But
oh wow!
He's got like Jock, original artwork from Jock and stuff like that. But he always winds us up because he's actually been to the San Diego one. I'll get there one day. That is the dream. Yeah,
see, this was mine and Anne's dream for a long time, was to do San Diego Comic-Con. We kind of went and we'll downgrade that dream to, we don't mind doing WonderCon or DragonCon or...
You've got to book it like 2 years in advance now, even that, just to get a hotel, I think.
Yeah, it seems it. And you know what? The popular, if it was like nearly 10, 20 years ago, probably I think we should have probably done it then, but now it's like it's too big.
But most of the big things don't even go there anymore, because like I say, Marvel has their own Disney convention now, so
D23,
they don't bring out anything there now. Warner Brothers launched the online one last year, so I don't know if they'll be hitting the Comic-Con circuit as much. So I think it's going
to take a hit. San Diego Comic-Con this year is actually in November. And not August, no July, like it used to be July. Yeah, it's not in July this year. It's in it's the Thanksgiving weekend of Thanksgiving. That's when it is, and I think you'll find over the next few years it'll be very downgraded from what it has been. But let's move on to is this the last one?
Yeah, the big reveal yesterday that Marvel gave us. I was it was a bit of a surprise. It came out of left field. No one was expecting it. The Shang-Chi trailer.
Shang-Chi and the
the
something
10 rings.
Of the 10 rings. I just kept saying, and it's the 10 rings. And he was going, I know it is.
I know. I was explaining to Nick because, like I said, even though Nick's a big fan of like the genre and stuff like that, well, I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about Shang-Chi and like the backstory. I was never a fan of the comics.
No, me neither. And I think
it looked like, from looking at the trailer, it looked like a cross between Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Rush Hour. That was that's what I got from it.
It did. That one particular scene, Ant was like, well, it's just Crouching Tiger, and I was like, well, yeah, but it's in a Marvel way, so it's you can't say anything bad about Marvel to me. Well, you can, but I'll argue with that.
And I'm quite excited for the true Mandalorian. I can't say it now.
You want to say Mandalorian, don't you?
Mandalorian, yes.
Yes, because we had a fake one.
Yeah, well, two fake ones actually.
But didn't he look fantastic as him though?
Yeah, Ben Kingsley and Guy Ritchie. Like I say, because he came out as the pretend one afterwards. He tried to say he was the guy behind it, but
I've just said you can't say anything bad about Marvel to us, and then I realised Iron Man 3 exists. It exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, and the whole people blowing up, but no. Yes, because I've heard rumours about this as well, that there's going to be dragon in this. The big Fing Fang Fu.
Wow, Fing Fang Fu.
Yeah, he's going to be making an appearance.
I hope that this sparks an interest in us because, and it'll be the same as what happened when Guardians of the Galaxy. This is just personally for me, but when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and when it comes to new things, I'm not someone who has to, I can just go on Wikipedia and go, all right, okay, well, that's that. I'll then go into the back end of it, just like I did with Guardians of the Galaxy. When I wanted to know about them, I found out all the runs, all the issues that I could get a hold of that wasn't old, and just powered through them. And I'll probably do the same with this as well.
But that's the thing with same with Guardians of the Galaxy when it was announced. You looked at the artwork they brought out and you thought, this looks weird. This doesn't look like, this doesn't fit in with like Iron Man. But they hit it out of the park with that first trailer, because as soon as you saw the trailer, you went, I have to watch this film.
Hooked on a feeling. Yes. And it was the I can still hear it in my head today, and it's the and it keeps on going while you're seeing each fight scene go. Oh,
and it was just the lineup as well. Like say when they're all standing like in the lineup, and he's going.
Yeah.
Just caught you like, right, this is going to be right up my street, like the humor wise. But
yeah, definitely.
I'm not big on the martial arts. Like say the last martial arts type thing I enjoyed was probably Daredevil, the original one. The whole with the backstory of the hand and stuff.
Oh yes.
Quite interesting.
What was I saying Anthony the other day about the hand? I was like, God, Marvel do like hands, don't they? And you got the hand.
Yes.
And then you've got the hand print in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he was like, can you name any more hands? And I'm like, no, but isn't two enough?
No, but yeah.
Like the hats.
Again, like I said, wasn't expecting the trailer.
No, not at all. I got notification of the poster first.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh no, not just a poster, but you get a trailer too. And the trailer it has that Iron Man and Ant-Man and Doctor Strange familiarity about it, of an origin story, because I think Marvel have got the origin mapped out perfectly, and it did have that feel to it. But that's not to say that I am not all over this shit, because I love them three films.
The thing is, what's quite surprising, because the release date's not that far away. I think it's September.
Wasn't it? Yeah, well, just give us Black Widow first, man. I just want to see it now.
I'm waiting over a year for it.
I'm absolutely sick. I need to see this.
Yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about Black Widow on the next podcast when we'll do the full rundown of because there's elements that I want to discuss, but we'll come back and leave that.
We'll leave that. So we'll leave all, because we're gonna, next week is gonna be completely and utterly focused on Falcon and Winter Soldier, because the final episode will be airing on Friday, and we're just gonna do a full dedicated podcast to it. So no talking. Shush.
Yes. So that's the news. So
that's the news. Are you ready for this bit? I'm ready for this bit.
Yes.
This is the top 5, and this week
it's your choice.
What?
It was your choice, so
my choice. Toys. Now, I said
not just toys though.
I said not just toys. I said no franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be individual things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, because it'd be easy. I'd be like, well, I like Star Wars and I like He-Man and I played with Transformers, and so that would just be a crap one. And so I thought it would be a little bit harder. And for all that I picked it, I probably found it harder than you did, because I only finished my list this morning.
Well, I got my top 4 instantly.
Right.
The 5th one was a little bit of a struggle, because I kept on bouncing from different things. Because the top 4 with anything from me, like say when it's something I love, there's a memory attached or there's a story behind it. So I've got a few stories for you as well. So it should keep you interested. But
so this is.
But with it being your pick, I'll let you go first for the first one.
Okay. So this is the top 5 toys of our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So 80s, 90s, I'm expecting. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll start with, this is what I found hard about it. I was very much a figure kind of person. I didn't own, like my sister did, but I didn't own Barbies. I didn't have any? No, I didn't really have Barbies. I had a Mark Owen doll from Take That, if that counts. That's a true story. But
tormented us.
I was very much a figure kind of person, and I couldn't just do 5 figures. So I've had to really go into the backs of my brain to, if my family member was to listen to this, they would agree with me, which I'm referring to my sister. So I'm going to start with the one that got away, Ellaroo from the Wuzzles, 1985 release. I even put the dates down.
I've got the dates as well.
I got the dates, and it was by Disney and Hasbro, 1985. Ellaroo, the Wuzzles. Can you remember them?
Not at all.
So the Wuzzles were half and half. Right. So you had Ellaroo, so elephant and kangaroo. So it was an elephant on top and a kangaroo on the bottom.
Yes, with like multiple colours and stuff like that.
Yes, and then you had Bumbalion.
Yeah. Oh God, that's just giving us back nightmares now.
Yeah, nightmares.
So terrifying.
Oh my God, they were not. They were not. So Ellaroo was the one that got away. We used to, you remember back in the 80s, coal fire. Mum used to put the clothes on the horse line in front of the fire to dry them off. Why, I don't know, because they would absolutely stink. But Ellaroo went in the wash, went on the clothes horse, went in the fire.
Never to be seen again.
He got no, I had him for a few years. He got scorched, though. He had like scorch marks on him, but I still kept
things
him.
Did you do to your toys? You're that kid from Toy Story, isn't it? You're the guy, the lad next door.
Hey, don't say that, because there was a time when I did get grounded for cutting all my sister's Barbie's hair off and gel penning them. So
enough, I was talking to my friend Sean about this. I'll probably be talking about Sean a lot during these podcasts, because he's like my little nerdy brother in a way.
Well, that's the same with me and Carolyn. So if Carolyn comes up, that's why. It's the same.
But I was texting him, like, saying that because I was telling him about the podcast, what we're doing. For some reason, he liked the text us last week and tell us that he was watching as well. While he was in the bath, a little creepy, but we'll leave it there. But
okay.
He used to be absolutely horrible with his toys. He used to cut up his Stretch Armstrongs. He used to torment his sister. He told his sister as well one Christmas that Santa wasn't real, and when she didn't believe him, he took her and showed her where the toys were. The little shit. He was the
evil. Oh, he is Sid. I'm not taking that title. He can have Sean. You can have that title. I'm not taking Sid. That is horrible.
You want to go with my first one?
This is so magical. Yeah, go on. What's your first one?
I'll see if I can do this. I've been practicing. See if I can share my screen. I've got pictures.
Oh, Paul's all professional. You just have to guess with mine.
So does that come up? So it was the 1986 Kenner Real Ghostbusters Proton Pack. Basically, I think I was about 7 or 8 when I first got it. The trigger used to pull and it used to make a noise. The foam bit used to come out as well. It used to even have a slot on it as well where you could put the little Geiger counter if you got that separately. And also you could put your trap, if you bought the trap separately as well, that fitted onto it.
Oh, go on. Yeah, you can get these now still, by the way.
Yes.
But they're very expensive.
The reason why I love it so much is I remember when I was younger, because I used to live down Roker. Yeah. Roker Park used to have a Halloween party each year. So yeah, I'll come back. So Roker Park used to have a Halloween party every year. Mm-hmm. And basically, I went one year dressed as the Ghostbuster and used my Proton Pack. And I spent the whole night chasing everyone that was dressed as a ghost or a horror thing, till one older bloke must have got sick as he turned around. He was dressed as a vampire and he hissed at us. And I've never shit myself so much, so I ran back to my mum crying. But I loved it. Like I said, I don't know whatever happened to it. But yeah, that's my number one.
Do you know what? It's not in mine, because my memory is so bad, and Carolyn will agree with this. She calls me Dory. It's absolutely horrendous. I remember it, and I can still see. I have a thing about my memories are about feeling like I can remember what that foam felt like and how the plastic feels as well. But I can't remember if I actually owned it. There was 2 things that I definitely didn't own Ecto 1.
Right. Yeah.
Which I was devastated by, because my mum's best friend's son, he had it. I didn't have it. And also the proton pack. I can't remember for the life of us if I had it or he had it, so I didn't put it on my list.
Yes, but no, like I say, that was my fondest memory of, like, say, that I remember my dad bringing it in for us. But yes, because I had the trap. My trap didn't open though, so I know they brought a trap a few years later. I think on mine you pressed it and it just lit up. But there was one that opened up a few years, and so you can put things inside of it. I didn't own that one.
I've just remembered again. We're on iTunes and Spotify. We can't just react to the picture. We have to say what it is. It was a proton pack.
No, it was. It was a kind of release proton pack. Like I say, when you touched it, it was the most flimsy thing you've ever touched. It was just like a hollow plastic.
You could feel the hollow. Exactly. This is what I mean by my memory over feeling things. Like it's not on my list, but I had a She-Ra figure. Well, the bloody owl with the big ears. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I had that, and I can still remember how the felt feels on his ear. It's weird how my memory works.
I was pissed off because my brother, when he stopped playing with my toys, the foam on the proton pack, he bit it and took a chunk out of it. So it had teeth marks in for years. I was really annoyed.
I don't think my sister was quite interested in my toys. I can't really remember. I was a very weird person. I used to like setting things up. So for all I never had a lot of girly toys, I did have, and it's the equivalent, and it's not on my list, but she was the equivalent of O Penny. No, she was O Penny. She was the equivalent of Polly Pocket, but she was bigger. Can you not remember O Penny? She was blonde-haired, pigtail girl, family, used to come in like houses and diners and things, and I used to set it all up, this massive O Penny structure, and then put it all away. Because it used to take us ages to do it. So we're moving on.
Yep, number two.
I'm gonna go with. Do you know what? You use visual. 2 seconds. I actually have mine.
All right.
So, kind of a bit of a theme, and I'm gonna get this one out of the way with, because Ellery I don't own, but the 1984 Tonka release of Pound Puppy.
Oh, Pound Puppies, Jesus. I used to have a tiny one.
This is George.
I never used to have the big one like that, but I used to have the tiny ones.
This is George. I have had him. He's got no nose. He has no nose. I've had him forever.
He used to have dead eyes, though. I remember that. The eyes used to always be dead.
Pound Puppy. My auntie has one. My auntie's is in much better condition than what mine is. I still think that she has the box. I still think he sits in the box. But mine obviously has seen some better days. But he comes everywhere with us. I've had him like forever, and I think he accidentally fell off the back of a truck.
Oh, right.
I think, and I got him for Christmas. But this is George. Yep, so everything when I was a kid, if I owned and it didn't already have a name, it was called George.
George.
My granddad's called George.
Used to come in different sizes though, didn't they? You used to get like loads of different types. Because I remember
Sorry, George.
I used to have. I've forgotten the colours of it. I think it was black and white. So black
you used to get black and white, and there was a cream and brown one, and then obviously George, who is brown. But Pound Puppy, I couldn't not include him given that he was like sitting behind us, and he literally comes everywhere with us. When we in our last house that we were in, he was always on the back of the couch. He's just not on the back of the couch now because my couches are cushions and doesn't have a back on it. So he's in my room with me. Yeah, he's in my room with me. But I've had him. Okay, so when did that come out? 1984, and I was born in 83. So I'm going to say I probably had him roundabout release time. I've had him since he came out.
Now I'm annoyed because I don't actually own any of mine, and when I've looked at them now, the price of them is absolutely ridiculous.
It's the one thing that I love my mother, but my mom emptied my toy cupboard out, and in my toy cupboard had all my Ghostbusters figures that are now an absolute fucking fortune to buy. I am furious.
Yes. So I'll bring up my next one. Now, I couldn't find an exact date for this one came out. It was in between 1983 or 1984. It was, again, this one was a Mattel, so it kind of gives you a hint of what it's going to be.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll get the picture up again. It's not Castle Grayskull, but it is Mattel's Snake Mountain playset.
I can't believe you had this. So, you know that podcast I was telling you about, the ones with all the great toys?
Yes.
They got this for Christmas.
But this one was, like, I preferred it because I had, like, when I'm looking back now, I must have been spoiled as a kid because I had this and I had Castle Grayskull.
I didn't have this, but I did have Castle Grayskull. Again, another thing that I can remember feeling.
I preferred this over Castle Grayskull for the certain elements.
I can understand
why. Like say with the Snake Mountain, the whole bit at the top where you pulled off the snake, you could actually talk into, and it kind of made your voice echo. So kind of.
Oh, is that what that kid's doing?
Yep. So
because that doesn't look very good.
No. What's this demonstrating?
For audio,
yes,
the kid's doing something very questionable.
He's blowing to the snake. So yes. But yes. And like say the little mouth at the front that used to move up and down. You used to have a little chain where you used to tie up your He-Man figures, so you used to be locked up that way.
Oh, Castle Grayskull never did anything like that, mind.
Castle Grayskull just had the drawbridge. That's why it looked better, like the look of it was great, but there was so much in it. And there was actually a little add-on for this play set. It was called, I forgot what it was, but it kind of had like a tree, and you used to put like a snake hand puppet through the hole and stuff. But yeah, so that was my number 2. Wow, I always preferred that play set over anything else, just because
that's impressive.
My dad bringing it in one day, and me and my cousins would sit down and play with it every Sunday, and I would always because he was always a little bit older than me, so he would always be the bad guys, and he would always be He-Man and win and stuff. But
oh, that's fantastic. That. So my number 2 is not a stuffed animal or a figure. Oh my God, that's my number 3. Sorry, it's not a stuffed animal, and it's not a figure. It is the 1992 Talk Boy from Home Alone from Tiger Electronics, which is now owned by Hasbro.
I remember when Home Alone 2 came out, like I think the toy actually came out before the film release, because they thought they were going to sell. I might be wrong about that, because I remember seeing it advertised as like a Home Alone toy, and I was thinking, that's not in Home Alone, but it was in Home Alone 2.
Yeah, I did. I think this is the Christmas I realized how spoiled I actually am, and I got a Talk Boy from Home Alone, and my God, did I record everything. I think people were annoyed with us. Do you know what? There's one memory I do have is recording all of the Muppets Christmas Carol songs. Just the songs.
Just the songs.
Just the songs. And replaying it over and over.
All the songs back there before was cool.
Pretty much. But yeah, I think that was the Christmas I realized how spoiled I actually am. I owned a Talk Boy. It was a great gift. It didn't do what the film said, where you put your finger on it and slowed it down. It had a button for it.
I never owned that. That was the one thing I didn't have, the Talk Boy. I don't think I love the whole concept, but it's not something that I wanted.
I don't know if I wanted it. I probably did, but if I hadn't seen the film, would I have known about it to actually ask for it? I don't know.
Like I say, it was a Christmas film, so it would have been around the time it came out.
And I got it for Christmas.
But to be fair, when you look at the Home Alone films, there wasn't really much things that could advertise or sell back on the back of it. It's like unless trapping your parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
homicide and stuff.
Going out to murder your neighbours and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my number 3.
Cool. So my number 3, again, I've looked back and every single one of mine is from the 80s, is again 1984. It's Kenner. So again, I think, like say, most of our toys and stuff were either Mattel or Kenner.
Yep.
This one, going back to as well, Ghostbusters again. I'm going to get the image of it. Is the actual Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters. Now, I got this as a Christmas present, and I played with it until I destroyed it, basically.
I'm Foreman. I didn't have this either. Do you know what? It makes me question my Ghostbusters collection as a child now, because I did not have this. I definitely did not have this, and I definitely did not have Ecto 1.
Well, the whole premise of this playset, I know it looks quite simple, but the whole elements of it was brilliant. Like the pole, you used to put your figures on it, and they used to spin round and go all the way down the pole. There used to be like a little stand. You used to get the little trap, the little container where you
I remember the ooze. Yeah, I see. Again, this is where my memory's failing us, because I remember where Egon's standing at the front, and so what we're looking at right now is the box of it, and obviously but if you can see Egon standing at the front with that red bit of plastic, I remember that. I do remember it, and I remember the ooze.
Yeah,
because I'm not.
That was the best part. Like the only problem is once you used the ooze once, it was not like you couldn't use it again, because it used to collect every little bit of dust and become like quite hard and still. But for the first time, you poured it through the top, and it went all the way down over people. It was absolutely hilarious.
I do remember it, and if I ask my sister, she might remember it too. But I didn't. So I can go. I didn't have. If I didn't have that, I did have a Wendy house. That was a Ghostbusters Wendy house.
So you just drew the sign on the front or something?
No. It was literally. It was a Wendy house. So a plastic sheeting over a bit of poles, but it was the firehouse with ghosts all around. My sister can remember it because it's one of my. If I ask my sister about Ghostbusters, my Ghostbusters collection, that's one of the things she can remember is this Wendy house. So maybe my parents just thought, listen, she's got a Wendy house.
You don't need the firehouse.
No, you don't need the firehouse.
The only thing that I remember as well, I shouldn't really say this because it was awful. Me and my brother had an argument once, and because he wanted to play with it and I was playing with it, I pulled the pole off where they used to come down, and I started beating him with the pole.
You whipped your brother with the
fire pole. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah.
You're a bad brother.
No comment. But yes, but I used to, like I say, I used to love it, but because like I used to get the figures, like as you said, from Joseph's in the town.
Yes.
And the old Woolworths used to be a little bit cheaper in Woolworths, I remember. But you used to only get certain ones.
I just remember pick and mix from Woolworths, and I don't particularly like jellies to start with, but I just remember what it looked like, and I think I got me Star Wars. I don't have them in here. Me Star Wars. Do you remember when the Star Wars original trilogy came out on DVD and they had a gold and a silver?
Yes.
I got the silver one.
That wasn't DVD. That was VHS.
No, it was. I definitely have it. I do have the silver version on VHS.
Yeah.
But I also have the silver version on DVD as well. Yeah.
I remember the silver. I've still got this because I've got the gold box on VHS. Still probably in the shed at the moment, I think, or under the bed. But because I've kept a few VHS, I've got that, and I've got the Indiana Jones 3, a few Disney ones that my mum and dad's. But yeah, I remember Woolworths for video going for cheap VHSs all the time.
Woolies. What's next? Well, we're on 4.
Yep.
I'm not going to go with. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll keep with the Ghostbusters theme. Because again, I'm a kind of figure kind of person. I'm going to go with and again, it's another one I can remember the feel of it. Kenner's real Ghostbusters Slimer.
Was this the actual little toy with the little pizza slices and stuff?
That's it. It was a pizza.
Yeah.
With a bite out of it.
Yes.
And it was made of rubber. And it was
His arms used to be like this, and he used to move it like slightly like that.
And he kind of like he looked like a poo essentially. Like that's what he looked like with arms.
Like see, when you look at the molds back then, because I can actually picture it, they weren't that bad. I know some of the toys, like when you look back on like the old Star Wars ones, the actual ones were absolutely awful. Like
they were all the same. If you look at the molds of them, they're like from Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess, they're all the same shape. They've just modified it ever so slightly.
Yeah, but
they don't look much different.
Like same with the turtles and stuff like that. Like Shredder was a weird shape because they couldn't have him too tall, so they had him having crouches. But I remember the Slimer one being pretty accurate to the cartoon.
Yeah, it was. It was a toss up between Slimer and Stay Puft.
Yeah.
The Stay Puft was squishy. It wasn't like it was a like a soft plastic, so you could like a chew toy. That's what it felt like. Again, I must stop this. I must sound so strange, but he did feel like a dog's chew toy.
If anyone listens to the podcast at different points, they're going to think about you feeling stuff. I think it's a different type of podcast that we're talking about.
I know. I'm not this weird, I promise. But
talking about the Stay Puft one though, I had it, but this is probably me as a kid. I probably had a bit of OCD, just because it wasn't realistic size. I couldn't play with it with the toys. So if
what do you mean? Because
if it was realistic, it should have been like life size.
And he kind of matched up. Yeah,
figures.
I get what you mean. That is a bit OCD, but because I would never have thought of that. Well, I did have. So I'm a massive shopper. I do shop a lot at Zavvi. And my t-shirt I have on, the Star Wars t-shirt, my vintage one I have on right now is a Zavvi t-shirt. And in my wish list, well done, Sam, for getting through the month. I had in my wish list all the Kenner toys apart from Egon. So they've re-released all the real Ghostbusters Kenner toys, and it was all the Ghostbusters original figures. Looks like original packaging, obviously it's redone, and Slimer and Stay Puft, and I had them all on my wish list. And when it came down to you, well done getting through the month, a easy purchase, I didn't do it because they didn't have Egon, so I bought a load of t-shirts.
Yeah, just trying to think back, because I might be wrong, but when the Ghostbusters film came out, did they actually release action figures based on the film, or was it just based on the real Ghostbusters?
They did. Was it Sideshow Collectibles had there was a few that came out the last couple of years.
Wasn't at the time when we were kids, because I can't remember them being a kid.
No.
I know there was recent ones like the Crystal one.
No, there's definitely recent ones of the original 84 Ghostbusters. Was it 84?
Makes us feel old, but let's not say dates.
the first Ghostbusters, they had I'm sure Sideshow Collectibles did one. They've had quite a few out, but no, we didn't have the actual movie. It was all just the real Ghostbusters. That's what I remember
when He-Man the Masters of the Universe came out. They had the Masters of the Universe figures that were based on the film. I remember that, but I don't think there was actually, because the only figures I can remember was the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing. I was a He-Man fan, He-Man and She-Ra fan. And I did not like the Masters of the Universe figures, so they were a no-go. So yeah, that's mine. It was a toss-up between Slimer and, because it would have been easy for us to say, well, Pete Venkman was, and he wasn't my favourite figure. What's your next one, then?
Yes, so this one's probably my latest one, 1988. This one's not by Kenner, not by Mattel, but was by Playmates, which sounds a bit rude than it is now. But it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blimp.
Oh my God, I think me and Ants were talking about this the other day, and no, that's not what I was picturing. That was not what I wasn't picturing that. I was picturing more hard plastic. That doesn't look hard plastic.
No, it was blow up. You actually had it was like a balloon, so. But talking about it was a decent size, so it wasn't like, say, because the turtle figures weren't small in the thing, and the turtle figure used to sit in the little, because there used to be like
this is like
a car base with bombs sitting on it. Like you can see in the picture, but I was just trying to describe like little orange bombs that used to drop off, and you can drop off people. But the blimp was a good 30 centimeters.
And that's a proper balloon. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the wrinkles in the top.
And then, like I say, you stuck the little plastic things at the end, and you used to use the back of it of the kind of the cart to move it around. I remember my auntie buying us it one year. I think it wasn't that expensive at the time, because, like I say, it's just a giant balloon with a bit of plastic on. But looking at that now to try and buy it, the cheapest I saw it with everything intact is about 200 quid, which is unbelievable. But it looked amazing. I remember. Because I know a lot of schools and stuff at the end of when I was a kid used to bring you at the end of the term.
Bring your toy to school.
Give a toy to school day, and I brought that in, and everyone was just amazed by it. everyone wanted to play with it. Everyone wanted to like thing, but with it being a balloon, you used to have to try and repair a lot of punctures every so often. But it didn't last that long, shall we say. It wasn't really one for durability.
No, I am not one of those kids who like to take their toys into school. I am someone who is deathly scared of losing things and how it would make me feel if I lost it. So I was not one of these. I would take probably like a very small figure, something that I wasn't so bothered about, but I am not one of these. I cannot lose things. I get so upset. I remember in school there was like a fair at school, like a like a summer fair or something, and they had like stalls on, and it was within me school and in the hall at school. And I remember walking past one of the stalls and seeing 2 of my teddy bears. And I went my absolute ends to the point where my dad had to buy them back. Like, how dare you sell my I do not like people. This is why I'm a slightly bit of a hoarder, because I'm terrified of throwing stuff out, and I'm terrified of losing stuff. So I wasn't one of those kids who could take toys in freely, and I would certainly not have taken that in.
I was always losing parts and things as well. Like, I know one of the ones didn't make my list, nearly did, was the Optimus Prime, the one that used to come with the trailer. But
the one that you could not put back together if you tried.
It could. The trailer was the hard thing, but the Prime.
Yeah.
The thing I used to always lose was Prime's hands, because there used to be nowhere for him to go. So he used to pull off, and you used to have to try and keep them somewhere. But yeah, I used to always lose the little hands on Prime, so I was forever rebuying Optimus Prime because I had to have him complete.
I think Ant's one thing I always talk about when I go to Ant's mum's house, I'm like, we have to get in the loft, because Ant's mum is not my mum, and she kept all of Ant's toys, Andy's sisters, and I need to get in that loft. I need to know what's in there, because I know Ant and what he liked as a kid, and he's going to have some. I would never sell them. I just want them.
Yeah, your mum keeps telling us that she knows where the Millennium Falcon is from the original, but that's got no parts. Like, it's basically just the shell. But she keeps saying that she knows where it is, and whenever I go over, she'll go, "Oh, we'll find it next time."
Oh well, me auntie. See, when it came to like some of my toys, I shared them with my cousin, and I say my toys, they were probably more his than they were mine, but because he lived a door away from me grandparents, they were mine basically, even though they weren't, they were his, but we had to share. And he had like the Millennium Falcon, he had all Star Wars figures, oh god, He-Man, Transformers, the lot of it, and my auntie put them all in a bag and give them to my cousin, and then my other auntie ended up throwing them out. I'm foreman.
Devastated. Right, so on to the last one now.
Last one. Okay, a little bit different. Well, no, it's not really. It's by Mattel. It's the 80s. It's She-Ra. It's Swiftwind.
Right. So is it She-Ra with Swiftwind?
Nope, it's just Swiftwind. It's that horse who, when I was looking through pictures earlier today, and I saw a multitude of Swiftwinds from the 80s that looked ever so slightly the same but different. So there was one black and white one. I swear I had that one. But the one I really do remember is the pink original Swiftwind from the 80s. Yeah. But by the time it came to when I'd had it for a bit, I'd lost all of the accessories. I don't think it had wings. It definitely didn't have its armor. I probably didn't even have its hair, if I'm being honest, but I do remember.
It looked like a bit like a My Little Pony type.
We didn't even look like that. Maybe because it came everywhere with us. I just remember Swiftwind coming everywhere, because I did have a fascination with horses for a period of time. Cool. Then that changed to dinosaurs and but no, Swiftwind, I couldn't think. When it came down to She-Ra figures, I could have named a multitude, but Swiftwind, because it was the biggest. And I did have Battle Cat. Again, I can remember the felt of how Battle Cat used to fit.
Battle Cat didn't have the felt. It was those Skeletor's Panther that had
Oh, that's right, the purple one.
Yeah, the purple one was
That's
the felt.
what I'm thinking of, yes. See, you knew.
Oh, it's I used to have them all. But yes.
Swiftwind. See, when it comes to toys, you have like these great stories. My memory is so bad that I can't remember. I just remember, or do I remember having them? Because you've brought stuff up that I think that I might have had.
It's all part of the matrix, don't worry. No, I'd say that's all I am. Nostalgia, that's basically, like I say, I think that's a big part of my personality is just like I'm still in the 80s. I've never left.
Still stuck in the 80s. See, I think that's why we work well, because I want to be in the 80s. Let me back in. I want to remember. So, right, what's your last one then?
Okay, so again, a little bit earlier. I think this is the earliest one. 1983 was a Kenner. It was the original Jabba the Hutt playset. So I'll just get the image up.
Let's get some visuals.
Yes, I'll describe it as well because this had a lot of moving parts to it, and that's why one of the parts I loved about it. It wasn't just a standard like figure and like say thing. So
I've never seen that.
Yeah, Jabba itself. If you wiggled its top of his tail used to wiggle. So it used to like shimmy a little bit, which was always fun. The little smoke pipe, where come in the pot, that used to fit in his little hole in his mouth. So it used to interact there. I was forever losing the little plastic thing. I've forgotten what it's called off Return of the Jedi. These little thing.
Salacious. Oh my god. Oh, what's he called? It's something Crumb.
But he always used to make like stupid noises. But he never used to move. He used to be little plastic, and he used to sit on the edge. But forever falling off.
It's Salacious Crumb. I knew it was.
At the front of it, there used to be a little bit of rope with a little chain that you could tie around Princess Leia's neck. Or
is that for your slaves?
Your little slave you could tie up, yeah. And if you moved Jabba the Hutt off the actual set, pushed one of the buttons at the front, and the doors opened, and you could drop your figures inside, so it's almost like you're dropping them down the Sarlacc.
Wow, I cannot picture that at all. That looked fantastic.
I think it wasn't actually my toy. I think it was one of my cousins who was a lot older than me, who, like I say, gave us a few of his Star Wars figures. But I remember that one just because, like I say, it was so much fun to play with because, like I say, a giant slug. It was quite realistic because, as you said, most of the Star Wars figures, being honest, other than the speed bikes, looked a bit shit.
Pretty boring, weren't they? They were.
But, like the interactive elements, it was always quite fun with that one. But no, that was always one of my fun ones as well.
No, that's that looked absolutely fun. I just cannot. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But Salacious Crumb, and I only know that because I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and it was someone had bought one big giant one from Batu. It's Star Wars Land. Jealous that you're there. But if I can just go before we finish up, as much as the Star Wars figures were naff back then, they've definitely made up for it with the Black series.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something that it's one of the things I said that I would do this year after I'd gotten myself paid off my debts, which are all going to be done shortly. I said I'm going to start a Black series collection. It's just where to jump in. Where do you start?
Because when I've looked into Star Wars and they do look good, but there's so much in it. I say it's such an expensive one because it's not just like Star Wars. There's there's Rogue One, and there's the prequel toys, and there's originals and the new ones.
Yeah,
and it's not just the normal characters; it's all the little side characters. Now the Mandalorian's been brought in.
Yeah, but so this is what I've learned, and if I'm wrong, please tell us I'm wrong. But it looks like they have like a couple from the Mandalorian, and then they'll sneak us. So the Hasbro event that just happened recently, and they did the new line of Black series, and the announcement was Mandalorian figures, and then it was like Mandalorian, Lando. And they just randomly put a Lando in there, and I don't know if that's the same for all of the series, for all of like the ones that they've brought out, because they bring them out in groups, don't they?
Yeah, I think like I say because I want a few Star Wars figures, Nick's kind of killers, but I'm just going to go for the cool looking ones. Like I'll want a Boba Fett, I'll want a Mando, I'll want like I say, even though the film was shit, Darth Maul. Just because I think them were the ones that will look quite cool.
Let's just backtrack. Phantom Menace is shit, but it does have some good parts in it, and that Darth Maul fight at the end.
Mini-chlorians, I can't get past it. Sorry.
This is where you and Anth agree, but it just came out last year, and I'm desperately wanting them, and I just refuse to pay the money at the moment. There is a Jar Jar Binks from Black Series, and he looks mint.
No.
You can jog on all you like because he looks mint. He's got a shield and everything, and I want him. I'm getting a Jar Jar. And you know what? I'm gonna stick him
now. This is my judgy face.
I'm gonna take that shelf out that you can see right here, and I'm gonna put him in the middle of it. Make a Jar Jar shrine.
And on that note,
so that is the top 5 toys. That was fun. That was different.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be. I generally did think it was going to be hard for you because you are king of nostalgia.
Yes.
So but for me, it was probably harder for me just because of how bad my memory is, and I have to remember that my sister may be listening to this, and she'll be like, "You didn't have that. You're just making that up."
No, like say, I know we've done top 5 films last week, but like say one of my favorite films, like say, is High Fidelity, and that is all about top 5 favorite things anyway. So it goes off quite easy for me.
Well, I think that's the theme of the program, isn't it? It's just it's our top 5s of whatever. I don't even know what to call it because it's just top 5s. It sounds dull as anything, but that's what it is. So that's it. So
sparkly.
Eh?
We'll try and make it sparkly and good.
So next week's not going to be a top 5 of, it's just going to be our discussion on and our review of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the likes and don't likes and where it's left us, because at the moment we don't know. So but that's going to save for next week. So this is where it gets interesting. We are now on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Yay. So for YouTube, please remember, like, share, subscribe. Comments, great. If not, get yourself on the Facebook group.
Yep.
Nerdy Up North community.
Yep.
Yeah, get yourself on it. It is absolutely brilliant. Makes me chuckle on a daily basis when I'm at work, and especially with some of the posts on there and the memes on there. We welcome memes. I know a lot of groups don't welcome memes, but we welcome memes.
Any crack I've got at the moment, sorry.
What?
It's any crack I've got at the moment.
Spotify, I don't know what you do with Spotify, to be honest, if you subscribe to it.
You follow on Spotify, so so you can press follow and it keeps you up to date. Try and get us next to Shag, Married and Annoyed. That'll be amazing. I know it's not going to happen, but that'll be fun.
It would never happen. I'm literally catching up with Smar at the moment. But no, and on iTunes, if you can, would be really appreciative of it. A 5-star, if you could do a 5-star and write a little review, and that would be great. I think the algorithm of iTunes is if the more reviews, the more likely you are to be heard by other people. I think that's how it works. Very new to this.
I'm not an Apple fan, even though I've got a Mac. So I'm more Spotify using for stuff like that, but I'm learning every day, and hopefully in the near future we might even have our own intro. So we're going to that's going to be the next thing we are looking at. And again, for everyone who has watched the last episode and give us feedback, thank you. It's been amazing. A lot of positivity. We will try and work on a few things. We're still trying to get the time down, so
exactly. Sorry. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve, and I think, like I was saying to you earlier, it's fine to go over a little bit on the fact that now we're on iTunes and Spotify, but YouTube, if your video is not under 10 minutes, some people aren't interested. But I don't know, whatever. Don't care. Do care. Actually, really do care. You've got no idea how happy I was when I found out that we're on iTunes. I think because that's my main platform for podcasts. So I was buzzing. I was like, I'm on my phone. So well, thank you very much, everyone. Next week, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and get yourself on Facebook. Love to see you all.
So same bat time, same bat channel. See you soon. Anyway, thank you, Tam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paul. Bye.